Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you know how we do it over here. Yes, we do our shout outs first. So, what I'm going to do, I am going to run that beautiful bean footage. Y'all, I want to give some quick shout outs to all of the readers who decided to come on through and support the channel. And first up is my girl, Yulette. Yes, Yulette has not been in the comments. We hadn't saw her in a minute. I guess she was taking a break, but I'll tell you what, I missed her. I did. I miss you so much, Yulette. I am so happy that you're back. And thank you, thank you, thank you for always riding with the read. You are a ride or die. And I am so grateful and so thankful that you are a part of this community. And the coolest of them all, yes, cool, Cat Harlem came through. Yes, she did. Cat is just everything. She is so kind, so sweet, so wise, and I could go on and on and on. But the most important thing, she is a part of this community. She is a part of this tribe, and that is everything. It is. And my girl Angela May came through. Yes, Angela is a ride or die, always going 10 toes down for the read. She is so sweet and so kind. She is just wonderful, and I am so grateful for her. So thank you, Angela. Thank you for the super things, but most of all, thank you for being a part of this tribe, girl. And my man, Kevin Slims. Yes, Kevin is everything and a bag of chips. He is always riding hard for the read. He is so faithful. He is so supportive. He is just the man. He is. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you for the super things, but most of all, thank you for being here and being a part of this community. You make it so much better. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, that's where I have been. Now, it's not a whole lot going on, but y'all know I dig around. We always have something to talk about. So, yes, we do have quite a bit to talk about. And first up, we're going to talk about Invictus. Yes, Invictus has a new countdown banner. Yes, they have started the clock to count down to Invictus 2027 in Birmingham. And let me tell you, this banner is so cute. It features Prince Harry and Allison Hammond. Yes, it is just too cute. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our girl because people are starting to really get excited. You know, this Sunday, Meghan will be on Top Shelf. She will, as a judge, and squatties are starting to get excited about it. Yes. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how desperate these flying monkeys in Fleet Street has gotten because Meghan is absolutely serving up plate after plate after plate of dust this summer. I mean, they are scraping the barrel for content, and it is hilarious. I'm telling you, squatties are absolutely dragging them for it, and we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about some of Meghan's most prolific trolls. and what they have been up to. Now, one has been up to some nastiness, and the other one has been up to some bullshites. So, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about Princess Anne. She is in Thailand. And of course, I hadn't drugged her in a while. So, yeah, I'm going to drag her a little bit because she is in Thailand trying to subtly bite off of Meghan. Don't they all? That's all I can say. Don't all of those left behinds try to bite off of Meghan? They hate on Meghan for her shine, but still they do nothing but copy and bite off of her. So we're gonna drag Anne a little bit and talk about that. And we're going to talk about Anne's meathead son-in-law. Yes, we're going to talk about him. It looks like Charles and Willie has given him the location of the royal olive tree, and he has scurried his little meathead arse over there and broke off a branch and has decided to offer said branch to Harry. Yes. At least that is what the flying monkeys are saying. So we're going to talk about that as well. And y'all know I have some other stuff I sprinkle in there. So y'all know it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So what y'all need to do is lock in and understand. I'm not going to keep you long, but I will keep you entertained. And we're going to start with this. And here it is, the countdown banner for Invictus 2027 Birmingham. Yes, and look at this. I love the picture that they chose. Don't you? I love it because I love that interview with Alison Hammond. And it was just so natural, so fun, so uplifting. And it seems that Harry was really going through some stuff, and she just really lifted his spirits. I really feel that because y'all know what I have said. I have said that he didn't look so good in the UK. He looked like he was very stressed and under a lot of strain. But when Allison showed up, he relaxed. He just seemed like he really needed that uplifting spirit that she seems to embody. And so, because of that, I think she is part of the banner art for the countdown clock to Invictus 2027. I don't think they could have chosen a better picture. I love it. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But this squatty said, "Ah, how sweet is this image Invictus Games have used for their countdown banner." Allison Hammond, this energy was just everything. She has to host these games in 2027. No one else will match that kind of energy. I know. And on the banner, it says 1 year to go, completed. And of course, it has the countdown clock, and it says the Duke of Sussex, founder and patron of the Invictus Games Foundation, joins wounded and injured and sick service personnel and veterans at the NEC Birmingham today to mark the 1 year to go until Invictus Games Birmingham 2027. Yes. You know what? I want to be excited about Birmingham. I really do. But the flying monkeys. But you know what? If Harry can get through it, I can too. So, yeah, I'm starting to get a little excited about it, y'all. I am. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. And I want to talk about our girl, the Duchess. Yes, she has a new campaign on her As Ever website. And please do not forget to visit the As Ever website at least once a week. It is very little effort for a huge impact. And what I mean by that, it helps to maintain the level of traffic to her website. Yes, it keeps it at a high level. And that's important because we all know the flying monkeys, especially that pipsqueak Jack Royston, who writes an article every week about the traffic going into as if it is putting some coins in his pocket. But my point is this: we need to support our girl. And it's so simple. This is what I do. I pin at the bottom of my screen on my computer, I have Sussex.com, I have As Ever, and I have Instagram where it goes straight to Meghan's page. It is just that simple. You don't have to be bothered or make a whole lot of fuss. Just pin it to the bottom of your screen of your computer. And every week, go click it, look around a little bit, and come on out if you don't want to buy anything. But let's keep the traffic up. That's all I'm saying. Let's keep the traffic up to Sussex.com as ever. And I always be checking on Meghan over there on Instagram. Yeah, see what your girl is up to. I know it's easy to fall in the habit of just seeing other people post what Meghan posts on her Instagram and viewing it that way. And that is all well and good. I do it myself. But I always, in return, go over to Meghan's Instagram page and show her some love. Yes, I view it over there again and I make sure I give her a like. That is just part of being a squatty. That is just a part of supporting Harry and Meghan. And it's so simple. Like I said, just pin it to the bottom of your screen. Yes, let's do that. Now I am going to climb down from my soapbox. And like I said in my intro, squatties are really getting excited about MasterChef. Yes, it is this Sunday, and squatties are absolutely trying to figure out how they can watch Australian television in the UK, in the US, all over the world, in South Africa, because y'all know squatties, we're global. But we always want to catch up with our faves no matter where it is. So, yeah, a lot of squatters are giving people advice how they might be able to watch it. But I am willing to bet you that we're going to get to see a lot of it here on the YouTube. So that is what I'm depending on. But yes, this was in the Australian Woman's Weekly. It says TV and film, Duchess of Sussex set to appear on MasterChef this Sunday. Yes, we're excited. And Chris Byron Smith posted this beautiful picture of our Duchess, Meghan. And it says, photo of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex for MasterChef Australia. The Duchess will be a guest judge on MasterChef 2026 on Sunday, July the 26th. Hashtag Meghan Sussex. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Meghan is going to have the girls gagging. Yes, they are going to be gagging over there across the pond. They're already gagging. Can you imagine? They are absolutely going to gag and have trouble catching their breath. I can't wait. You know, Kate is going to be somewhere floating on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean trying to get a television signal so she can watch it, so she can get mad and gag. Yeah. I'm telling you, they hate Meghan, but they can't stop watching her and copying her. I mean, that must be a miserable existence. And this squatty posted a picture of Meghan when she was on Suits. and this picture that was taken to promote MasterChef. And as you can see, Meghan has not been aging. No, her face is not on the floor. It's firmly in place. And this squatty said, aging? No thanks. Yes, that's what Meghan said. But we all know eventually Meghan is going to age just like everybody else. But you can age gracefully, or you can just fall off a cliff like Wank did. Yes, William and Kitty just went straight over the edge of the cliff. So I'm not being unrealistic when I So I'm not being unrealistic. I know Meghan is going to grow older just like everybody else. She is a human being, but boy, is she growing old gracefully. And that right there is the key. Growing old gracefully and beautifully, because it is so many beautiful older women and handsome older men. And I know this to be true because I have one of those handsome older men of my own. But you have to do it the right way. And Lord knows, Willie and Kitty have no idea what they're doing because they are aging like an old banana in a Texas heat wave. And this is a post from OK Magazine. And of course, they have to bring the nonsense. And this is what it says. Meghan Markle ridiculed after using Duchess title for MasterChef Australia. What title would they want her to use? That's her name. It is the same thing with Harry. Harry said he was a Prince of England. If he's not a Prince of England, what is he? These haters want to try to somehow shame Harry and Meghan into not using titles that belong to them. These titles belong to them. If you don't want them to use them, take them. But I promise you, it's not going to work out the way you think it is. Harry and Meghan will go through the stratosphere of popularity. People will be able to empathize with them and understand exactly what this couple has had to go through when it comes to that family. And how a man could be a pedo and still keep his titles. Only until the JE files came out was he ever stripped of any of his titles. But Harry and Meghan, who has done nothing but mind their business, you want to strip them of their titles the same as you did for him? It is just not going to fly. Because at the end of the day, you set a precedent. You set a threshold, and Harry and Meghan do not come close to the threshold of hurting and harming and SAing small children. And all of this had to come out in the JE files before you even thought about taking any action and stripping him of any of his titles. So you think you can sell to the world that Harry and Meghan has committed as many atrocities as Prince Andrew, and that justifies their titles being stripped? Good luck, but all I can say is go for it because the backlash is going to be epic. But this post goes on to say, as viewers vow to boycott the show. So nauseating. Yes, saying that viewers are going to boycott MasterChef. Really? Really? You think that's going to happen? No, because one thing you can depend on when it comes to Meghan haters is them not doing what they say that they're going to do, especially when it has something to do with watching Meghan, because they're going to watch everything that she does. Yes, and pretend like they don't. My prediction, right now, before the show is aired, that it is going to be one of the most watched shows ever on Australian television, and that it is going to be the highest rated. That's my prediction because, like I said, not only fans watch Meghan, but her haters watch her even more. And that is the reason why she is always putting the W's on the board. And this squatty said, "Why are you so obsessed?" Yes, sure, Jan, the haters will be watching more than anyone else. They can't help themselves. Exactly. I don't even understand why OK Magazine came with this BS because clearly it is nothing but BS coming straight out of the Derangers playbook. They have been yapping on these social media streets, and these so called entertainment organizations and magazines like OK, they're so dry and starved for any kind of content coming from the Duchess of Sussex because Meghan has been serving up plate after plate after plate of nothing but dust. She has been minding her business extra hard this summer. And because of their desperation, OK Magazine has made a conscious decision to write an article from the ravings of the lunatic derangers. I'll tell you what I'm surprised by, that it hadn't been a petition, because we all know those psychos, they love a online petition that they can manipulate and use to try to smear Meghan with. I tell you, I am surprised that they didn't do a petition. They decided to do a boycott this time, but it's usually one or the other, a petition or a boycott. I guess this time they went with the boycott. And this other squatty said, too much jealousy and bitterness. She can use her titles whenever she wants to because it's hers. But what about the Duchess of York? It had to come to light that she was banging Diddy and visiting a pedo while he was in jail for being a pedo, for them to even consider taking her titles. And if I'm not mistaken, y'all tell me in the comments, I don't think that they have officially taken her titles or Andrew's titles. They just agreed to not use them. So miss me with this nonsense. And about Master Chef, this is nothing new to Meghan. Meghan has done these shows before. Meghan has actually had a show like this before. It was called Power Lunch with Meghan Markle. Yes, and it aired on the USA Network. And also, Meghan was a judge on Chop Jr., which is a food competition show for kids. It is exactly like MasterChef. So Meghan is not out of her depth doing this show. And so none of this is new to Meghan. Like this squatty said, Meghan Sussex isn't new to this. This is Meghan. She is a foodie. She loves great food, but also loves cooking great food. So Meghan be a guest judge on MasterChef is such a wonderful surprise. I literally can't wait to see her tasting the contestants' food. Bring it on. Exactly. And a lot of people feel exactly the way this squatty feels. Yes, it is going to be a banger. Mark my words. And I had to drag Mariah Carey out again and ask, why are you so obsessed with me? And I am not talking about Kitty. I'm talking about Holly Willoughby. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, don't worry about it, because it doesn't ring many bells even over there across the pond. But Holly was the co-host of This Morning, a morning show across the pond. A show where she and her former co-host, that disgraced Philip Schofield, would sit there on the couch and lick the boots of that family on the daily. Now, this show did not smear Harry and Meghan like Good Morning Britain or a lot of those other news panel shows like Jeremy Vine, but they did enough. And what I mean by enough, they would have guests on there to smear Harry and Meghan and would not push back on any of their lies. A perfect example of that is old flat faced Camilla Tominey. She would be on that show on the regular and she would sit there and lie and lie and lie. And Holly and her former disgraced co-host, Philip Schofield, would rarely push back on it. Well, I said all that to say this. It looks like Holly, who never really defended Meghan, was a great admirer of Meghan. At least what she is doing in her career next. You would say, yeah, she absolutely is copying Meghan. And what is she doing? Look at this. It says former This Morning star Holly Willoughby moves to TV to YouTube for a new lifestyle series produced by Hungry Bear, her husband Dan Baldwin's company. Holly Willoughby together. Wonder where she got that from. Could it be the Together cookbook? I'm just saying. Together premieres on July the 28th. Guests will include Stanley Tucci and Emma Bunton. Well, I'll tell you about Stanley Tucci. He is married to a British citizen, and it appears to me that he is on a mission to secure one of those useless trinkets that family over there is always giving out. What is it? OBC, ABC, 123, baby, you and me? What is the name of these trinkets? Whatever they are, he is really trying to get one. And he is really trying to establish himself in British society. Mostly at those state dinners that family put on for the different countries. Yes, he is really trying to ingratiate himself to that family because he's been licking boots for a while. I'm just saying. So it's no surprise to me that he would be on this show. But I digress. But yes, she is doing a lifestyle show. Now, I'm not going to talk much about it because I don't want to promote it. I have saw a lot of squatties online and on these internet streets saying don't give her the time of day. And I agree with that point of view. I don't think we should give her the time of day. Just let her fade into oblivion. And that is exactly what I am going to do. I will bring it to y'all, but after that, I am doing nothing. I will not post about it and I will not be talking anymore about it. And all I can say to all these women who want to be Meghan, these Duchess of Sussex wannabes, I will say this. It is fine to want to inspire to be like Meghan. There's nothing wrong with that. But the blatant copying, that is what I have a problem with. And just know that you will never be like the blueprint, the original. Don't take inspiration from her and then turn around and try to tear down her character because you're jealous. Be inspired. Don't be envious. And how we know you're envious is because of the receipts. Look at this. This is a repost, and the original post says, "Oh my effing God, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, drove a $600,000 sales boost for the brand Tiny Tags." And what this squatty is talking about, y'all remember when Meghan wore that tag necklace with Archie and Lily's initials on it? You remember that? Well, that company that made those tiny tags is reporting that the Meghan effect is real. That the Meghan effect drove a $600,000 sales boost for this company. And this was in Inc. magazine. It said, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, wore her brand's necklace. Nearly $600,000 in sales followed. Tiny Tags founder Melissa Clayton built her self-funded brand by narrowing its focus and saying no to scale until the company was ready. She had a $600,000 boost to her bottom line. Do you know how much that means to a small company like Tiny Tags? And it was all driven by Meghan just merely wearing her necklace. I just love it for her, and I absolutely love it for her company. And I love it that we have another receipt to show that Meghan is one of a kind. Now, you can aspire to be like her, but you can't be her because she is one of one. How does Beyonce put it? She says she's one of one, and that's exactly who Meghan is. Meghan is one of one. And the squatter that reposted this said, I stand 10 toes down for Meghan, Duchess of Success, being irrelevant as I dread to think of the consequences of the financial markets and for brands were she to be relevant. Just think of all the British brands that lost out and all of the revenue the UK could have made. Oh well, as you were. Yes, as you were because you fumbled the bag. Can you imagine if Meghan had stayed there and continued to be a working royal? The British fashion industry would be in the black instead of the red. Yes, Meghan would have brought the world's eyeballs to the British fashion industry. But no, they couldn't do that because that family over there, it is never thinking about what is best for the country. They are always thinking about themselves. We have deterred the bed hopper and the future king and queen dummies a rock, leading the way into the abyss for the British people. And this squatty, this is a repost as well. And the original post said, the Meghan effect strikes again. Tiny Tag CEO Melissa Clayton revealed that after Meghan wore their necklace, they gained 1.9 million Insta views and drove nearly 600K in sales. She messaged, it is pretty amazing, the Meghan effect. And Meghan supports small female founded business. Yes, it is. It is amazing. I have to turn it to Oprah. And the squatty that reposted this said, only Meghan can do this. Love it for her and every company she helps thrive. Yes, I love it for them. Now I want to talk about some of Meghan's most prolific trolls and haters. One of them has always been Andrew Pierce. Yes, that queen who is always, well, at one time he was always on Good Morning Britain. Now, I don't think he has been on there very often here of late because it has been a scandal with him bubbling below the surface. It seems that he is a sex pest. Yes, he is a sex harasser. And now he has been sacked by the Daily Fail. Now, you know what a low, do you know how low you have to be? Do you not know how scummy and low you have to be fired by the Daily Fail? Have you saw their roster over there, that cauldron of witches and all of those sycophants over there? those flying monkeys. I'm telling you, they are the lowest of the low. But yet and still, he's even lower than they are because he just got sacked. I kid you not. And it seems like this man, his name is Benjamin Butterworth, and it seems like he might know something that we don't know. Now, he has put out a series of tweets saying that it is more to come when it comes to Andrew. And as you can see, Zanny Sussex has reposted one of his tweets. He says in this tweet, why did Andrew Pierce suddenly leave the Daily Mail without so much as a goodbye to colleagues of 17 years? Must be extremely serious. Yes, and Zanny reposted this and said, Karma is still busy. Yes, she is, because she got up early yesterday morning, put on her black tight dress, put on her red bottom stilettos, and twisted herself all the way down there to the Daily Fail. Knocked on Andrew Pierce's door and kissed him in the mouth. Now, she had to wash her mouth out with gasoline to absolutely sanitize her mouth after kissing that stank breath. But I digress on that point. Yes, karma has come a knocking for Andrew Pierce. And I personally couldn't be happier about it. And Zanny went on to say one of the biggest haters has been sacked from the Daily Fail. Apparently, there's a King Council investigation into his conduct. Well, we know this is not the first time. This man's conduct has been called into question. Yes, this is nothing new. This has happened before, and I am so happy that it has finally caught up with him. It goes on to say, sounds like there are skeletons in this cupboard, and I hope they all come out. Now, he's been trying to come out for a while. But I tell you what, I hope, just like Zanny, that every bone in the closet, every bone that has been buried, come out and absolutely pile up at his front door. Yes, he needs to own all of his behavior because he is so quick to call people on their behavior. Yes, he plays the role of a holier than thou kind of individual. And we all know those kind of individuals are the ones that are so foul. And he looks to be, allegedly, really foul. And the squatty that came up under Zanny said, laugh out loud, laugh out loud, laugh out loud. Abrupt exit, you say? Yes, abrupt exit makes Squatty's ears perk up. Yes, we are listening. We are listening and we are watching to see exactly how all of this shakes out because we messy and we love it. And I'm going to put this up. Benjamin Butterworth, he was out here posting. He was. And the most interesting post out of all these posts that this particular squatty posted of Mr. Butterworth is this one. It says, don't worry, the truth is coming, but by the foul loads, not the tweet. Wow. Wow, by the foul loads. Woo, this is going to be good, y'all. I am in messy heaven. I am. And the squatty that posted this said, oh my God, Benjamin Butterworth is coming for blood. It says that vile creature, Andrew Pierce. I love it. I love it. But I am thinking, what did Andrew Pierce do to Mr. Butterworth? What did he do to Benjamin? I wonder, because Benjamin is going in with all fours on Andrew Pierce's arse. And this is a repost too. And the original post said, in an unexpected reshuffle moment, he is continuing at the right wing retirement home known as GB News. Now, this squatty came in and reposted that and said, kicked out of GB News, now the Daily Fail. Says a whole lot about Andrew Pierce when he's rejected by the worst of the media. Yeah, it does says a lot. I said that earlier. Yes, when you are absolutely ostracized by the scums of the earth, that don't say much for your character. But I want to make this clear. I don't know if he's out at GB News because I'm getting contradictive reports. Some are saying that he is still at GB News and some are saying that he's not. So I don't know. If you know, put it in the comments. But yes, like this squatty says, another one bites the dust. I love it. Now, I'm going to say this as a precursor to this particular post. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only. Now, we know Lady C is a crackpot. She is crazy, but she is very, very entertaining. And that is how I want you to take this because it is so hilarious to me. Some parts of it. Now, one part, yeah, it kind of makes me mad. But for the most part, it is hilarious. She is such a crack pipe. That might be a Freudian slip because that is how I think of Lady C. She talks as if she is on a crack pipe. Now, she is a crack pot. That's what I meant to say. But she does sound like someone who is on the pipe, if you know what I mean. But I'm not saying she is a crackhead or anything like that. Of course not. I have no idea. But I say she sounds crazy like that. Yeah, she sounds like a man who is hanging out on the corner who is screaming and fighting and fussing with the sign that is next to him. Yeah, some crazy SHIT in this post. Now, I don't want to see in the comments where someone is asking me, why am I talking about Lady C? She is crazy. She is a crackpot. She is all the above. But like I explained earlier, I'm doing it for a kiki. The squatties are on these internet streets getting a kiki out of this batshit crazy post from her. So I thought y'all would enjoy a kiki as well. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it in the comments. We are here for the kiki. Remember that. All right, let's get into it because it has a little twist to it as well, which makes it even funnier and more delicious. So hang in there with me. All right, I'm going to put this up because a squatty posted the post from Lady C. And this is what Lady C is talking about when it comes to Harry and Meghan. When I tell you this woman has fallen into the throes of insanity, I am not exaggerating. Listen to this. It says Meghan Markle is clearly in even deeper trouble than anyone thought. When people with official links at the governmental level in the United States contacts me and tells me that Harry is in love with another woman. Now stay with me, y'all. She says of his age, who is also in love with him, and that Lily was born to a surrogate in Colorado and flown by private jet to California for the handover, so it wasn't the stork or fed eggs. She says And those people are liberals with impeccable, traceable identities who espouse many of the sympathies which Harry and Meghan grandstands about so hypocritically. You know, the pseudos have been seen through to such an extent that even people who might once have been supporters are now eager to bring the dog and pony show to an end. Now, here comes the grift. Listen to this. It says, this form does not allow one the time and space to delve too deeply into the ramifications. But fortunately, YouTube does. So I've covered the news on my channel today. She wants to get those fever-minded followers of hers to go over to YouTube and watch that craziness that she has posted over there on that channel so she can make money, so she can try to pay the taxes due on that ramshackle of a castle that she lives in. Because the word on the curb is that it is held together with just bubble gum and spit. Yes, it is my understanding that that place is just about to fall down around her. And it is also being alleged that one of her son's business is in desperate need of an infusion of cash. And if said cash doesn't hurry up and come through, it could go belly up. So she is in dire straits, allegedly. And this is why the grift has gotten so crazy and desperate, allegedly. I have to keep putting that in there because she might be trying to make some money off of me. Because desperate people do desperate things. But I digress. The squatty that posted this said, laugh out loud, laugh out loud, laugh out loud. Lady C is leading her gullible fans on yet again, purely for engagement and YouTube views, with yet another absurd claim she clearly pulled out of her arse. The squatty goes on and says the argument that Harry and Meghan would sue her if she was lying, so it must be true, is so dumb. Who would bother suing this crackpot old lady? The successes only go for the big fish like the tabloids, not someone like Lady C chasing clicks with obvious nonsense. Where's the lie? And she is chasing clicks because she is not on television anymore. You never see her on any of those panel shows anymore. She is not even on GB News. Why? Because they don't want to get sued. And they know that this old crackpot lady will get on there and say whatever. And have you noticed Angela Levin's appearances are getting less and less and less? Because I just saw Angela Levin say that Kitty donated a kidney. Yes, she did. And that is the reason why you don't see these two crackpot old ladies that much anymore. Because the people who used to put them on are now afraid of Harry and Meghan. Especially Harry, because they know Harry will come out of a bag on them. But I digress. This squatty went on to say the successes only come after the big fish like the tabloids, not someone like Lady C chasing clicks with obvious nonsense, and who once said the Queen Mother disliked sex so much that both the late Queen Elizabeth and Princess Margaret was conceived by artificial insemination. I guess Meghan is in good company because it looks like Lady C, she lied on the Queen Mother. I mean, it is nothing that this woman won't do for a grift. And the squatty went on to say the number of people who actually believe her and the racist surrogacy conspiracy theory is frankly sad. It's very sad. And it's a lot of them. And the reason they believe it is because they want to. They want to. You don't believe far-fetched nonsense like this unless you want to. And here's a twist for you. Guess who debunked Lady C? You will never guess. Little tooth, big tooth. I kid you not. And this right here makes me angry. She went into the birth records and found Lily's birth certificate. These people are crazy, but this is what she said. I have been seeing speculations that Lilibeth was born in Colorado, citing her birth certificate number 105 as indicating that she was born in a centennial state rather than the Golden State. That was actually true until 1996. Now, California's number is 105, while Colorado's is 106. You can see that other California based celebrities all have 105 in their children's birth certificate. I always like to double check things myself, and I thought I would share the results. So, in conclusion, just for the record, Lilibeth was born in California in 2021. Yes, and do you not know that the Rangers got mad with her? Because number one, she proved that Lily existed because she had a birth certificate and that she was not a surrogate because Harry and Meghan's name are on said birth certificate. And because of all of that, they got big mad with her. This squatty said the Rangers are not happy that Britney has debunked their latest BS, which appears to have originated from Lady C. Now, I'm not happy that this woman felt the need to pull Lily's birth certificate, which I find very, very strange and creepy. Why would you do that? But she did pull the birth certificates of other California based celebrity children, which in return debunked a lot of the lies that the derangers have been telling out here on these internet streets. The same derangers that absolutely watch her crazy videos. So that is the reason why they're mad. They're big mad because she had a moment of clarity. And clarity is not something that a deranger takes kindly to because they love to stay in their delulu. Yes, they absolutely love that. And for her to be so clear and to debunk two of their major conspiracy theories. One, that Lily doesn't exist. She is a doll. She is a paid actress. And number two, that she is a product of a surrogacy. Now, they didn't take kindly to reality. No, they didn't. And so Britney's numbers over there on that channel of hers is probably going to go down. And this other squatty said the fact that people are going to the Department of Health to pull Princess Lilibeth's birth certificate is sickening. Where's the lie? These people are crazy. They are. Who does that? We would never do that as squatties. We don't care enough to do anything like this. These people are totally too invested in Harry and Meghan's life. They have that pseudo parasocial relationship with Harry and Meghan. And it is twisted. It really is. Who does this? And this is why Harry and Meghan need security. And this squatty said that deranged Lady T saw a few pictures of a blonde surfer at the place where Prince Harry surfs, and without doing a backup search, she wrote a huge fairy tale about how Harry is hooking up with that random surfer, and the derangers took it and are circulating it. There is one problem though. She is gay in a lesbian relationship. Ha 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 ha. I'm laughing my arse off at these idiots. And she actually organized surf trips for lesbian couples. This is beyond epic. I know. I cannot with these people. And of course, squatties are always going to do their due diligence and debunk all of this nonsense. Can you believe that? The woman that Lady C is accusing Harry of being in love with and him in love with her is actually a lesbian. Tell me these people are desperate without telling me these people are desperate. All right, y'all. I want to change gears right here and talk about Princess Anne. Yes, I want to drag Anne a little bit. She is in Thailand, and this article popped up. It says Princess Anne turned heads in a 119-pound Meghan dress during Thailand gala. Yes, and do you think that this happened by happenstance? Nothing with these people is a coinkydink. It is not. They do everything they can to draw some attention. And they know Megan's name is an attention getter. And so they use it. It is so pathetic, these people are. The squatty that posted this said, Megan really is the real queen of that island. They talk about her and miss her more than the monarch who ruled for 70 years. Where's the lie? But y'all know I have been saying this. Megan and Princess Diana are the only two modern day women to marry into that institution and reshaped it in their image. I mean, shook it to the core and changed it. And you can say whatever you want to, but this right here is another receipt that proves my point. And here's a dress that Princess Anne had on. And the name of the dress is Meghan dress. And like I said, do you think this just happened? Who do you think put out that she was wearing the Meghan dress? Because nobody's checking for Anne. They're definitely not checking her fashion. They put this out for her to get some attention while she was in Thailand because nobody would have known she was there unless they put out the fact that she was wearing the Meghan dress. Nothing happens by accident when it comes to that family. It's no such thing as coincidences. And the squatty that came under this picture said, so that's how it's supposed to look. Woo, I'm telling you, squatties are absolutely vicious, are they not? And truthful too, because with Anne wearing it, you can't tell that it's supposed to look like that. And this squatty said they can't quit Megan. That aside, why is a 70-odd-year-old going on trips all over the world? Where is Lazy Kate and Billy? Well, they're on vacation. And Anne absolutely is going on foreign trips, but somehow Billy Idol cannot do it. And you know why. They say because he doesn't want to do it. But I believe it's because of Jamaica. Yes, that really hurt his feelings. That rejection that him and Kitty got when they went skipping and hopping and booty popping down there to Jamaica. You know the flying monkeys love to say they never put a foot wrong. Well, they couldn't put a foot right in Jamaica. And ever since then, Willie has not wanted to go anywhere. He has a very, very fragile ego and very, very thin skin. All right, y'all, we're going to change topics and talk about Princess Anne's meathead son-in-law, Mike Tyndall. It looks like Charles and Willie has drawn him a map to this magical royal olive tree. And he has scurried up there and broke off a branch to give to Prince Harry. And the reasoning behind all of this is it looks like he has gotten wind of the fact that Prince Harry was on the Joe Marler podcast, a former rugby player like himself. And all of a sudden now he wants to extend a hand of friendship to Harry. The same man who said that he wanted to punch Harry in the face because of what he had done to his family. That one right there. Now he has an olive branch in his hand. Could it be that all this goodwill, this kumbaya, all of this forgiveness is because of the success of the Joe Marler podcast that featured Prince Harry? Could it be that? What y'all think? And this squatty posted a article from GB News, and it says Mike Tyndall sends olive branch to Prince Harry after public dig. And what he did was he posted this picture, yes, of him and Harry playing rugby, I think. Yes, that's what he put out there. And this squatty who posted it said, rugby podcast envy much. Shrek can put that so-called olive branch where the sun doesn't shine. Prince Harry wants nothing to do with that Neanderthal. Why would he? Why would he? But yeah, I think he really saw those numbers from that podcast. And we all know that nearly dead podcast of his that no one is listening to, and that includes his immediate family. And he saw all of those numbers that Joe Marler's podcast was doing with Prince Harry on it. And so when he saw that, he wanted to insert himself into the story. He wanted to bite off of Prince Harry and Joe Marler's success. That's all this is about. He wanted to be a part of the shine because we all know ain't nobody shining over there. This squatty said Harry went to Joe Marler's podcast and suddenly Mike's hitching himself to Harry's headline. How convenient. Funny how Harry was apparently good enough to promote, just not when Mike was publicly taking swipes at him. And he just took a swipe at Prince Harry, saying that Prince Harry used to be fun. Y'all remember that? On that half-dead podcast of his, trying to improve the numbers by bringing up Harry. Yeah, it's talking about they used to have fun together. He's no fun no more. Yeah, he's fun enough to be on the Joe Marler show and clock all those numbers, clock all those views. Yes, and make you drool. And this other squatty said, so let me get this straight. Mike Tyndall publicly insulted Harry despite Harry never mentioning him, and now reposting Harry's podcast clip is being dressed up as a olive branch. Is that what he did? Oh my goodness, how very desperate of him. He is trying every trick in the book to insert himself into the success of the Joe Marler and Prince Harry podcast. And this other squatty said Harry does not need an olive branch from an opportunist because whatever beef he has with him is one-sided. He is not Harry's cousin, and he does not matter in the grand scheme of things. Where is the lie? He is irrelevant, a non-factor. And this other squatty said he's a sick, lazy piece of shit who has no problem living off his mother-in-law, who is funded by the long-suffering UK taxpayers. Woo! Where is the lie in that? And this squatty said, would that be because Harry mentioned he had Haskell in his contacts and keep in touch with him? Mike wants a bit of attention too. And Haskell is the meathead's partner in his Nearly Dead podcast. And so Harry was sitting on Mike Mahler's podcast saying that he keeps in contact with the meathead's partner. And I'm telling you, that right there, that was Prince Harry being messy. And Harry threw a shot and some shade saying that he keeps in touch with him and he is in his contacts. Tell me Harry and Meghan are not messy. Every time something like this is discussed and you look at it in depth, Harry and Meghan both are messy because you can't tell me this right here wasn't shade. Yes, it was shade and it was Harry being messy and I love it. And this squatty said more likely the 15 million plus views on the podcast hashtag Prince Harry features in the grift is on. Where's the lie? That 15 million plus views brought the meathead to the yard. Yeah, I agree. And y'all know I love to end on a positive note. And I saw this post right here and it explains why all the ugly old hags, the toadies, and the derangers and the flying monkeys hate on Meghan. This squatty said these mediocre women hate on Meghan. They criticize everything she does and seizes every opportunity to tear her down. Yet deep down, they wish they had her life. They just can't stop copying everything she does. Our princess is their ultimate inspiration. Where is the lie? I mean, we have receipt after receipt after receipt to prove that. All right, y'all. Y'all know I always enjoy my time that I spend with y'all, and I will be back very soon. If you want to support the channel, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Look below, you'll find the super thanks button. And if you want to be a part of the reading club and become a channel member, it's a link below as well. Also, if you're watching on television, you can just click my picture and then click the join button and follow the prompts from there. Also, I have in my bio, you can support me through Zelle, through PayPal, through Buy Me a Coffee. And if you don't want to do that, you can scurry on over there to patreon.com/The Royal Read. I have a reading club over there as well, or just join for free because I'm always posting over there and you can keep up with what your girl is finding here on these internet streets. Because when I find something good, I post it over there. I do. And if you have any extra hypes laying around, I know it's the middle of the week. If you hadn't used all three of them and you have the hype button, hype this podcast up because it helps so very much. It puts it out to new eyeballs and it really helps the channel to grow. So if you have any hypes left over, hype your girl up. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. Bye.